You're now tuned in to Lady Charmaine Live Show, and I'm your host, Lady Charmaine. And as always, I have another great interview for you today. Now, here's my question. When you think of movies and television shows like Oz, Lost, Concussion, Suicide Squad, and even The Bourne Identity, well, this person just might come to mind. And I'll tell you who it is coming up right after this. My guest today is an actor and director who has starred in films and television shows like Oz, Lost, Thor, The Dark World, and The Game of Thrones. And he's here today to talk about his brand new ABC series called The Fix, executive produced by Marcia Clark. Help me welcome to the Lady Charmaine Live Show, Mr. Adewale, and we might even call him Triple A. Welcome to the show.
Yes. What's up, Lady C? How you doing? Thank you for that illustrious lead-in.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, now I have to have you tell me how to pronounce your name because I take pride in trying to pronounce people's names correctly. So help me with your name.
It's Adewale Akkinnuoye-Agbaje.
Okay.
Adewale.
Okay, good. Adewale. Okay, I was kind of close. Now, I was doing a little research on you, Adewale, and I found out that you were actually up to play the Black Panther. Is that true?
Well, I wasn't up for it. I think I went in and I met them many years ago now. It was a project that, I, at the time, was interested in, and we just had a meeting. But that was many years ago. I think 2009. I think they were meeting various people, and my name was in the hat, and we took a meeting, and that's where it went.
Well, it's always nice to know when your name is in the hat or when you're in discussion around the table. But I love your story. You have such an interesting story. You're from Nigeria. You were adopted by a family in London. And there were 10 kids in the house? Did they have 10 children?
Yeah. Actually, my life story is the subject of a feature that I've just directed, my directorial debut, entitled Farming, and the practice and process that you're referring to is called farming. And the immigrants coming to England after the Second World War, my parents were among them. Tens of thousands of Africans, particularly Nigerians, fostered their children out to white working class families in order so that they could work and study there. And I was one of those children that was fostered out to a white couple at 6 weeks old. So the story really documents my journey through that process and how I became to be the man I am today. It stars Kate Beckinsale and Damson Idris and Google and Butterraw. Comes out in the U.S. in the summer.
And I look forward to seeing that because, like, when I was reading about you, how you went back to Nigeria and you could not speak English there, and then you ended up coming back to London. But then I read when you were 16, you joined a skinhead group. Is that true?
Well, they terrorized me. It was a very, racist kind of environment that I grew up in, and we were the only black kids in the neighborhood. And it wasn't like you had backup or you could run anywhere. It was like it was quite a tough upbringing, and they pretty much tortured myself and my siblings for many years. And my foster father, forced me to actually defend myself and fight back. And I was a very sensitive child, but I had to follow his instructions and ended up, standing up for myself to the point that I got a good reputation for doing so, and ended up joining the gang and leading it and, getting into a little bother as a teenager. But, the story covers that part as well. But essentially it's about struggle for a child, identity crisis and belonging, and ultimately his self-worth and love, and how you learn to love oneself. So all of those elements are thrown into this very dramatic and compelling story.
And then we're going to talk about the fix in just a second, because as I was reading your story, it's amazing when you listen to a woman. And I heard you listen to a woman, and that's how you got to the U.S. to where you also are today. And so let's talk about how you got here, and then we're going to talk about the fix. So what happened? What brought you to the U.S.?
Oh, God. I actually, I was in London. I studied law, which is one of the things that attracted me to the fix, actually. I have a background in law, master's and bachelor's degree, and it wasn't something that I'd wanted to do. And I had a friend, a female friend who was a model who traveled to the U.S. and had a huge success and really encouraged me to come to the U.S. I was doing a bit of modeling myself as a part-time job, and I came to the U.S. doing that, and it was my model agent that actually sent me to my first audition, which I got, which was for Congo, and that pretty much changed the course of my life and has me where I am today.
Absolutely. So now let's talk about The Fix, brand new ABC show, executive produced by Marcia Clark. You may know her from the O.J. Simpson trial. So tell us about the show and the role that you play.
Well, I play the role of Sebi Johnson, who's this charismatic mega movie star from England. The show really takes, the first 5 minutes are really inspired by Marcia's true story, and we pick up the show on the not guilty verdict of my character. But from there, the show jumps 8 years forward, where we find this character, Sebi Johnson, has been suspected of killing his new partner. So it's a case of did he do it again? And then it becomes this bullet train ride of a thriller. And it's just a very gripping kind of story, very entertaining, and it's very different from the O.J. trial, because Marcia then really takes creative license to play with the story as she would like. There are the obvious parallels, Marcia Clark, a black man accused of killing 2 white women, but the major difference is we know what happens in the O.J. trial. Right. We have no idea in the fix, and that's what you'll find out on Monday.
Now, with you said you went to law school. What was it like working with somebody like Marcia Clark, especially on a show like this?
That's one of the reasons that I was really drawn to the project, because obviously her intrinsic knowledge of the law, and to do a project that you had this point of reference, somebody who really knew what they were talking about. I could at any point just go to and say, does this really happen, or would this? And we did a lot of research together and discussed a lot of legal points. So I liked it from that aspect. But she's just a very dynamic woman, and we all know how impactful the O.J. trial was in America at the time. And I was intrigued to get first-hand insights from her, and how I could sort of like implement those into my own character. So it was a very interesting journey, and a very rewarding one, because it was a very heavy female presence on this production. Or most of the writers, all of the writers were female. The producer, Laurie Zaks, and of course the creator, Marcia Clark. So that gave it a very maternal feel on the set, and it was just a good vibe.
That's good. Well, Adewale, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. And I want to remind the audience to make sure that you tune in to The Fix on Monday, March the 18th, for the premiere on ABC on 10/9 Central. Again, it was a pleasure having you on the show, and I look forward to having you back.
Always good talking to you, Lady C. Enjoy the show, and love to Sacramento.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right, take it easy.
You too. And again, don't forget to tune in to The Fix. I love law shows, so I'm definitely going to be watching this, because I love the whole whodunit and trying to figure things out. So this will be one show that I would definitely be watching. So make sure you guys tune in on Monday, March the 18th, for the premiere of The Fix, executive produced by Miss Marcia Clark. And again, thank you to my special guest today, Adewale Akkinnuoye-Agbaje.